everyone, hello YouTube, I'm back. Yes, she's back. It's been a minute, but that's a story for another day. But today I am so happy to be back with the review of Inxeba. If you don't know what Inxeba is, it is a South African movie that kind of shook the internet and a lot of people. It is a very controversial movie that was shot by John Trevango. Or is it Trevango? I'm not you know what? Don't quote me on the surname because I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It was shot by John Trevango. I knew only one of his movies, which is Hopeville, you know, a long time ago. But he's apparently done a lot. I think like 4 significant movies. Who he was, I knew only one of his movies, which is Hopeville, you know, a long time ago. But he's apparently done a lot. I think like 4 significant movies. He actually shot this controversial movie about Inxeba. If you don't know what Inxeba is, in the Xhosa culture, boys go to this ritual, through this ritual whereby they get circumcised. I'm not Xhosa, so I don't know how the logistics of this ritual actually work, but it is almost like almost like an untold story, because there's this thing of they're not allowed to say what happens there, and even after watching this movie I don't feel like I know anything. So Inxeba, it is a love story, because I watched the interview on YouTube. I'll link it down below. Inxeba was a story. I'm not sure if it was a love story more than a story that says, hey, this is the reality, you know, this is the reality as queer identities. We exist, you know, and we are affected and affect day-to-day society. I feel like that movie said that. But you can watch the video that John did. It wasn't like, oh my god, Marvel, but it was a well shot movie. It kind of reminded me of Desert Flower. If you don't know what Desert Flower is, just go on YouTube. Every answer is on YouTube, guys. It reminds me of Desert Flower, but I like the way this movie was shot. You know, they actually used shadows in a very clever way in this movie, whereby most of the graphic scenes are concealed by shadows. You know, it's happening, but we don't see it happening, but we know it's happening. You know, the significant scenes, there was a lot of shadows or a lot of pulling of focus, which kind of plays into the metaphor of queer identities living in shadow. The LGBT community is still not like accepted, you know. It's still like, no, you can't live like that, you know. You can't be a man and be gay, you know. So it kind of plays into a metaphor of these queer identities that keep living in the shadows because they're afraid of not being accepted, you know. They live a double life whereby they live during the day, or when everybody's looking, they live a life whereby it's acceptable by society. It's eluded as perfection, you know. That's what you should do, you know. This is what a man does. And when they think nobody is looking, you know, they live a double life. They live a homosexual life. So I think that was a clever play. So shout out to the camera department for pulling the focus. I see you. And shout out to the director. I think that was genius. Another thing that I noticed, you know, when we introduced to the character X, he's wearing a beanie, you know, the whole time in the movie he's wearing a beanie. Only in those scenes where he's vulnerable, you know, those sex scenes, the scenes where he's having conversations with his partner. Am I allowed to call him his partner? But when he's having a conversation with Vijay, you know, the beanie kind of plays like an armor. Only during the sex scenes where he's not wearing them, which would have not made sense. But still, you know, I would understand, because some people still wear socks. But it kind of plays into how he's always guarded, you know. There's this one scene where he's taking a walk with Vigil, and he's drunk. I think they both drunk. That is a significant moment, because you know, for that split second, yes, it's at sunset, you know, still in the shadows, but you know, at least he feels safe. So it kind of provides him with that safety thing, you know. When he doesn't have it, that means he feels safe about his environment. Also, this movie has a lot of evening, night, and dawn scenes, you know. You have a few scenes that happen during the day, but you don't see the sun, you get what I'm saying? So it kind of signifies the fact that, you know, when people are not looking, when we're not looking, you know, people that are hiding their queer identities like get to live their life at night, you know, when they assume nobody's looking, when nobody's not supposed to be looking. So I think that was a clever pick on the location and the times to shoot. So that was great. And yeah, basically it was a good movie. If you didn't see it, don't play yourself. Go see this movie. It's a great movie, and support local movies, man. You know, I believe that when you watch something or when you pick up the newspaper, you should be able to start a conversation from there. You know, you should be like, is that what you say? You know, I feel like this movie created a healthy appetite and a healthy conversation. You know, a lot of love stories are being told in South Africa, and let me tell you, South Africans tell their stories well, okay? Nobody else can tell South African stories like South Africans do. Let me rephrase that. Nobody else can tell African stories like Africans do, okay? So yes, we should tell our own stories over and over. Let's create a healthy appetite for local movies, local entertainment. Support it, you know. It's not about agreeing and disagreeing, it's about supporting the arts. Don't banish a movie because it challenges your thing, your morals and your beliefs. Say, hey, I don't think that's how it's done, but I'm glad you did it so that we can correct you. But catch me on Twitter or Instagram, catch me on YouTube, Dietandi, all my socials. So shout out to you. Thank you for watching. Stay legit.